Dear parents, aunties, uncles, and guardians, please gather around. This video is for you. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you good manners that children need to learn early. If this sounds like something that interests you, definitely keep on watching. Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, we talk elocution, social etiquette, and personal development. My name is Aderisola Adeyemi, also known as Diction with Dairy. Please give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can suggest to much more people. Please subscribe if you are not, and turn on the notification bell so that you get to know whenever I upload a new video. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, why should we teach our children social etiquette? It helps them to stand out in life. It helps to make a good impression. It helps them to stand out, especially when they grow older. They might not understand the importance, okay, as children, which is why it's important to let them know the reason. When you give them a particular rule, let them know, oh, this is the reason it is not good to do this, because this is going to be the effect. Okay, let them know the principle of cause and effect. And it also goes to ensure that as a whole we have a saner and more civilized society. Number one, teach them to use the magic words. And what are our magic words? Please, thank you, I'm sorry, excuse me. Okay, so whenever they're handed a gift or somebody does something for them, maybe the help at home serves them, they're not supposed to just grab the food from his or her hand and just start eating. No, they should say, for instance, thank you for the food, Miss Mary, I appreciate you, something like that. Thank you for the food, Miss Mary. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so you should teach them to use the magic words. You should teach them to say please when they need something. They shouldn't just give orders and all of that. They should learn to say that they're sorry when they do wrong, as expected. Everybody is. And then they should learn to say excuse me if, for instance, they need to interrupt a conversation, or they need to use the door and there's somebody standing in the way. They don't just maybe shove the person aside. Maybe whether the person is older or the person is their peers. Now this cuts across. This way, when you're teaching them to use the magic words, you're teaching them consideration, you're teaching them patience, you're eliminating the entitlement mentality from them. So this way, they know that they don't just give orders and voila, the food appears. Voila, the driver takes them to school. No, they're learning consideration, appreciation, and of course, how to relate with other people. Number two would be greeting. So if someone, especially an older person, steps into the room, please teach them to drop their phones, their tablets, or whatever it is that they're doing, and then stand up to greet this person. Okay, it shows respect, it shows regard. So they're not supposed to be fiddling with their phones and just go, hi, Miss Mary, you're welcome. No, that's very wrong. Okay, and even if they were visiting someone, it's the same thing. The same rule applies. When they walk into a room, they are supposed to greet everyone in the room. Number three would be privacy. Now, how would you teach your child or ward privacy? By teaching them to knock on a closed door. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's a door in their house, if it's their mom's, the door to their parents' room or their siblings' room. Most especially when they are paying a visit or when they have to maybe spend some time outside the home. You don't want people perceiving your child as somebody who does not have manners. So please teach them to knock on a closed door and only enter when they have permission to do so. That is when the other person responds that it's okay for them to come in. Number 4, please teach your children or words to cover their mouths when they cough and when they sneeze as well. They can also even sneeze into their elbow. And it's also very important, I'm supposed to add here, it's also very important to let children know the reason that you're telling them to do these things. And remember, there was a particular video I did a couple of months ago. I'm going to link it up in this video, maybe somewhere here or in the description box. Basic social etiquette. And etiquette basically means consideration for the next person. I like to define etiquette like this: what is the impact of my action or inaction on the next person? So basically, teach them, don't just tell them, oh, it's important that you sneeze into your elbow or cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. Let them know why and what is the reason, so that you don't pass the infection or probable infection to the next person in the room. Okay, so it's important that because these things are, is it communicable infections now? So sometimes it can be easy for cough and cold to spread fast. So let them know that out of consideration for the next person, you don't just cough out loud or sneeze out loud. You should cough or sneeze into your palms or sneeze into your elbows. Number 5, teach them to take turns. Yes, whether it's in a conversation or whether they're in class and their teachers have asked them to submit their assignments. No, they're not just supposed to rush at the teacher all at the same time. So teach them. Again, you're teaching them consideration. So if one person is having a conversation with the other person, the other person should wait for the other person to finish speaking before interrupting. Okay, that way the other person feels heard. And then when mommy says, for instance, food is ready, you know that you have to wait for one person to be served before you are served. Okay, so that makes for a lot of organization and a lot of order. You're teaching them order and consideration that way. So please teach them to take turns or wait their turns, whether at home or outside the home. Number 6, please teach our children not to make loud comments about people's appearance or people's bodies or people's physical appearance, especially when it's something obvious. I'll give an example. So somebody is cross-eyed and they have probably not seen anyone cross-eyed before that time, and then the child just goes, "Excuse me, what's wrong with your eye?" That's embarrassing. That is very embarrassing. So we need to teach these children, because you know these children these days are very vocal, and yes, we, as much as we want to raise very confident children, we also do not want to raise ill-mannered children. Okay, so please let them know that they're not to make loud comments about people's physical appearance, especially in public. So what should they do instead? They could just quietly say to mommy or whisper into mommy's ears, "Oh mommy, what's wrong with her right eye?" And then mommy would explain to the child that it's a condition with the eye, and that settles it, instead of going ahead to embarrass the other person. They also need to learn that there are other children, that the children with special needs, for instance, children with maybe Down syndrome or children that are autistic. they should never have to say publicly, oh mommy, why is he like that, or why is no, it's that would be very devastating for both the child and the parent, and we don't want that. Remember, again, etiquette is consideration for the impact of our action or inaction on the next person, and our children need to learn that, and early too. Number 7, our children need to learn basic hygiene. And what do I mean? First, they need to learn not to throw trash or garbage on the floor, whether at home or in school, whether they're in the car. And you know how that in this part of the world, you just find people fling out biscuit wraps or empty bottles out of the window. Please, we need to teach our children that it is wrong. And they also need to understand that the fact that certain people do it does not make it right. So what should they do instead? They should keep these biscuit wraps, empty bottles, until they find a dustbin where they can probably dispose these things, or they can take it home, take the bottles, the empty bottles, or the biscuit wraps, put them in their bags, and then when they get home, they dispose these things properly. They should also learn the importance of washing their hands, for instance, because when you have dirty hands, for instance, it's a lot easier to transmit germs to the other person. And now this is especially to our male folk. You know, it's very easy in this part of the world to find a man when he's pressed, he just literally pee anywhere, in front of a car, in front of a building, as long as there is a gutter or I don't know, maybe a bush somewhere. They literally can pee anywhere. And we need to teach our boys that this is very inappropriate. Again, the fact that you see people do these things does not make it right. What do you do instead? Find an eatery, find a fuel station close to you and tell them, hey, please, I need to use your restroom. And I'm 9.5 out of 10 times these people will be gracious enough to allow you use their restrooms, even if your mom or your dad has to pay. But we need to learn that it is very inappropriate to pee anywhere, and we need to teach our boys these things early. I find it really funny that it's easy for us to do these things, especially I live in Nigeria, so I can speak for us here. It's easy for us to do these things in Nigeria, but the moment we cross the borders of Nigeria to another country, all of a sudden it just seems as though there's a different operating system. Why? So if we can do these things, if we know, it just means that we know, it just goes to show that we actually know the right thing to do, but we do not do it. So we need to teach and reiterate to our boys that it is very inappropriate to pee by the roadside or in a public place. How would you feel now? How would you feel? And what is the reason? It is, you'd find that environment just begins to stink. Okay, how would just ask the boy child, how would you feel if you saw somebody, or if you caught somebody urinating in front of your house? Most likely you would tell the person to stop, or call your dad or your mom. Exactly. So you find that everywhere just begins to stink, everywhere begins to smell, because literally people urinate everywhere. And again, for the upteenth time, we need to teach our boys that this is not good behavior. Finally, still talking consideration, we need to teach our children to give special consideration to the vulnerable. And what do I mean? Maybe they are on a bus and there's an elderly woman standing. They should give up their seats for elderly people, for a pregnant woman. Okay, maybe there's a pregnant woman on the bus with them, they should stand up, or there's a sick person, really. So they should learn to give special consideration to sick people, people with disabilities, people with disabilities or special needs, pregnant women, and the elderly in the society. They should also learn, part of giving consideration is also learning to help people. So you see your classmate or you see an older person carrying a lot of stuff in their hands. Maybe somebody, your mom or your dad, has just returned from work, from the market. It is good manners to relieve them of that burden. You see your mom carrying a nylon here and another bag here, and literally 2 bags here, 2 bags there, and you're just there on your phone, on your tablet. No, that is not good manners. They're supposed to collect those stuff from their mom or help their mates out when they see that they actually need help. I hope that you found today's video helpful. I hope that you found it insightful. Remember that the importance of social etiquette, it goes beyond our families. Yeah, it translates even to the society a lot. Imagine that we had a society where everyone was just very rude, ill-mannered, and all of that. Everywhere would just be disorderly, and we do not want a disorderly society. We do not want a situation where literally anything goes. You know what they say about rules and offenses? So where there's no rule, there's no offense. Okay, so we need to teach our children this on time. I hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you learned a thing or two or more. If you did, please do well to give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube can suggest to much more people. Please leave a comment letting me know what stood out for you in this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're not, and please share with me in the comment section what stood out for you. If there's any topic around elocution, social etiquette, and personal development that you would love for me to address on this channel, absolutely, I can't wait to hear from you. Please put it in the comment section as well, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get to know whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with your community. We need a more civilized Africa and the world at large. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.